Okay, guys. So today, welcome to this new welcome, guys, to this new module, to the first module. Welcome to the new module. This is number 1. Guys, welcome to the new module. So in this module, I want to talk and discuss Okay, guys, welcome to module number 1. So, understanding quantum transition. As a fervent reader of reality transurfing, I would not call it quantum transition. I would call it alternative space transition. So imagine this whole area, as you can see it, looks like a space, right? So imagine this is an area of lifelines. Everything exists in this space. Everything exists in this area. Okay, the ideas, the worlds, lifelines, everything, like a metaphysical mirror of this physical reality, right? And so that answer, that's a brief answer to the question of what is quantum transition. Okay, what is the quantum field? That was the first answer. This is the alternative space, okay? The second question is, what is quantum transition? Quantum transition means, guys, is, for example, when you go, like imagine this is your lifeline, right? You have hundreds of millions of possibilities around you. You know, if you, for example, if you choose this lifeline, maybe it's a lifeline of, let's say, I don't know, a president. This lifeline is a lifeline of a successful, wealthy business person. This lifeline is, let's say, there are a million lifelines you can choose, right? It's all under your disposal. So a quantum transition, as people say it, or as people commonly use the word quantum transition, it's basically when you move through your life. For example, you live a normal life, right? You just have a life. You're sleeping, you're not conscious, you're not aware. You're just moving through moving within your life. And then suddenly you become aware of this fact. You become aware of this secret, right? You become aware of this information. So what happens next is you begin to choose. So for example, you know that a version of you that is, for example, let's say healthy and wealthy is somewhere there. I mean, you don't really locate, you don't really know like where exactly is your version, the version you envision. But what you can do is you can shift your lifeline from current to the version you envision. So you can intentionally transition yourself. So instead of just having this dull lot, sleepy, like a dream state life, you focus, you wake up, and you begin to change your lifeline, and shift it to a direction you see fit, right? The direction that your heart tells you. If you, for example, live in your country, you travel, you completely move to a different lifeline where you live in a different country, right? So that's exactly what I like. That's quantum transition. You know, I hope I could simplify the concept so we can go next. The science of quantum thinking. What is the science behind it? All I'm saying, guys, everything that I'm explaining to you is based on my own understanding and based on I consumed a lot of information regarding this matter, and not only consumed, but I also implemented in my life. And so the science of quantum thinking is basically, you think of everything as like you perceive the world from the metaphysical space. So for example, you go about your life, right? You go about your life. And so, for example, if something happens, positive or negative, you understand, okay, for example, I don't know if you're aware or if you know the concept of pendulums. So there is a pendulum, you know, here's a pendulum, here's a pendulum, here's a bigger pendulum, here's a small pendulum, there's different kinds of pendulums, right? They are like in various places. Some of them are good pendulums, some of them, you know, we can make them red pendulums. And they're for informational energy structures. What does that mean? Pendulum was not a topic of our module like today, right now, but I just want to give you a glimpse of how to think of quantum, like the science of quantum thinking. Like how can you think and perceive everything through this alternative space? So for example, one of the ways or one of the things that is most commonly like one of the things that is commonly discussed in reality transurfing is if you shift your lifeline or let alone, okay, for example, if you react, for example, something bad happened, right? For example, billing statement got like hooked onto you. You received a statement to pay something you completely have no idea why or you didn't expect. Or, for example, that's one of the common ways. Like, or for example, you receive, oh, for example, you work and your equipments don't work. Another pendulum throws its hook onto you. Your equipments don't work. And so you begin to see that, okay, the pendulum is throwing a hook. If you react in a negative way, it means you got the hook, like you got under the hook as like a fish. And now pendulum is pumping energy from you. It's pumping energy from you. And what's going to happen is going to give you throw more hooks onto you to get more energy out of you. So if you get angry from like for example, if you have like today I was in a supermarket and one woman, she was a cashier and she was explaining and she was in a she was very angry that the equipment don't work. And she moved on different like she moved to different places to try and help customers, but all the computers she encountered something. There was something that was not working, and she was literally screaming, like, "What the hell is happening? Like, you guys don't fix nothing, you know." So what's happening is, if you react in a very bad way to any unwelcoming situation, you will get it in abundance. If you react to your neighbors, let's say, for example, this is your neighbor, they throw a hook onto you. You know, they are addicted to getting energy from people, right? They want some validation. If you again react to it, they will get more energy, and then they will throw another hook and another until they suck your energy. So what I mean by that, what I want to tell you by that is basically if you are aware that this is a pendulum, if you are aware that this is not like the world is not plainly as it seems, like it's not just a coincidence or it's not just you know, like something happening. If you understand that there are pendulums, if you understand that there are many versions of you that you strive to maybe bring to reality or that you strive to change your life path to become, you become aware of navigating through this alternative space, right? For example, you don't like this current reality, you just move to a different space. You don't try to change it. You don't try to like, you know, influence it in a different. So you basically move your life to a different lifeline. You know, I don't know if maybe it's on the left, maybe it's on the right. Like regardless of where your lifeline, uh, your your desired lifeline exists, you just navigate through that. Like for example, here you are, a star. So I'm afraid I'm digressing. Let me see. How to apply quantum principles in daily life. Yeah, okay, so I was on the track. So for example, you want to be a star, or let's say you want to be a successful and healthy person. What you can do to, get closer to this version is to basically understand that if you basically understand that you are not fighting for your place under the sun. You are choosing your reality. Like, for example, in this world, you are healthy, you are wealthy, people love you, people respect you, right? And that's a totally different world. That's a totally different lens. That's a totally different reality. So you navigate to get closer to that space. You're not afraid or worried of the competition, of the old programs that you have in your head. You're not thinking of all that. Why? Because you know this new reality is as real as your previous reality, right? If you can, if people could convince themselves that the world is scarce, that there is, shortage of money, if they could believe that delusion, then why not believing in a positive one, right? Which is not delusion, it's basically a world you choose to live in. If you choose to live in a negative world, that is that exists, and that is what people would encounter. So what you could do is to basically get closer to this alternative space, to your reality. One of the ways is basically one of the most important things, I believe. I like the blue color. So it's visualization. You visualize yourself. So you dedicate daily time to visualize your new self, your new reality, right? A reality where you are maybe, I don't know, in control of everything. You have finances, you have everything you need. So this is one of the processes you daily, like spend 10 to 20, maybe to 30 minutes visualizing your your desired reality. The next thing is affirmations. The next thing is affirmations. So on a piece of paper, you write whatever you want to happen in your life. So you say, for example, I have a lot of energy. I have an excellent memory. I have joyful energy surrounds me. I am powerful, and stuff like that. So you write your affirmations and you read them daily. Your thoughts, your DNA begins to change if you, let's say, do it more often. Like, if you do it 3 to 5, 3 times is enough: morning, afternoon, and evening for beginners. And if you stay with it as much as you can, like for a week, a month, until you feel what you say, right? Until you feel what you, this is the basics, guys. This is not everything. This is only the basics, regardless of your type. If you like to hear affirmations, if you like to, if you have a strong imagination, if you're vocal, you like to speak that, you see, there are many deeper stuff that we will go. But one of the things to navigate the alternative space is through these things. You visualize, you make your affirmations, you basically also try to, like, the more you visualize, the more you read your affirmations, the more you will feel like it, right? The more you download, I would say it, the more, for example, this is your desired reality, the more you download data from this place. So let me put it this way. So the more you visualize, right? For example, okay, so a version of you that you desire is here, right? And let's say that your lifeline is, let's make it very interesting. Okay, and let's say your lifeline is here. So the more you visualize, the more you lay down, the more you take, like, the more energy you get, that you download energy from that version of you. And the more you do it, the more it pulls you to that version of you, through affirmations, to visualization, until you completely get to that place. And then from there, you will maybe have another goal. Maybe you will have a better version of you that you could feel comfortable. So maybe a version of you that feels, let me just make it bigger. Maybe a version of you that feels, okay, so maybe you reach your goal, right? And then at that point, you will see that you could become something bigger. And so you continue visualizing and you reach that. You see, as humans, we are striving mechanisms. Like we always strive for a goal. Sorry, we always, I'm new to this, but we always strive to a goal. There must be a goal. Drug addicts, smokers, slackers, whoever you want to call, everyone has a goal. Humans can't exist without a goal. If humans retire early or they don't have a goal or they don't, have anything to strive for, that's when they wane down and that's when maybe they, get sick and die. That's what I read in most of the cases. When people have purpose, they live longer, they stay longer. I heard many stories when some people's parents were sick and ill and they had, cancer or whatever, but they lived for, let's say, 20 years until their children graduated, until they were able to see that was their goal to, to continue living until that thing, to survive. So they could, if they could live for 20 years, they could, for example, live longer. That was their goal. So if you strive for something, that's how you navigate through this alternative space. That's how you begin to see things and understand that it's actually, sometimes it's not people, like you don't blame people. And one of the most important things that I remember is sometimes you get upset on people, right? Sometimes people do bad stuff you think are bad. Sometimes people behave in a bad way, like in a way you perceive as bad. They piss you off, they do stuff, but but sometimes they are just a cause for you to change your direction in the alternative space so that your life changes. You change this direction and you wake up and you do something about your life. So someone, for example, some person hurt you, right? And so you'd be like, okay, I'm no longer surrounding myself with those negative people, or for example, I'm no longer staying in that space. And so you go your own way, where you feel better, where you feel positive, where you feel good. So that may be the reason, right? So you can never be angry or pissed off at any situation, because you can never, like, as a mind, as a person, like a mind is like, your mind can never comprehend which situation is going to be like which is. So you want to, let's say, become healthy, right? But in order to be healthy, you need to move to this space, right? Your lifeline has to be to end up there. And for you to end up there, things have to happen. So sometimes you are willingly work your way up there and nothing bad happens. That's perfect. You listen to your heart, you do what you know you gotta do. But sometimes people are lazy. They need an extra kick. And so the extra kick sometimes comes from unexpected sources, like, people hounding, or bills, like pouring down on a person, or something happened. But at the end, the person ends up where he wanted. So you can never know. It's not always because of your negligence. It's not always because you're lazy. What I'm saying is basically you never know what's best for you, right? Like God knows best, right? So if something happens to you, you look back to your life and you say, God, thank you. Thank you for all those moments that I had, because today, otherwise I would not be the person I am today. Okay? And so never ever get pissed off if things don't go the way you imagined it to be. Always say, as in Transurfing, there's this quote: life is wonderful and unfolds as it should. So you should always say that. You should always like be in that state. And this is, guys, how you navigate through the alternative space, through this metaphysical world, and you see how things are happening. Sometimes, sometimes for example, uh, okay. So I'm not going to tell you their name, but I think when you get in a relationship, all of a sudden people begin texting you and they're interested in you and stuff like that. Why is this happening? Everyone talks about it, but nobody actually knows what's happening. So that's a pendulum. So for example, if you emanate some energy, or let's say pendulums see that it doesn't matter how it works. So for example, you feel confident, you feel amazing, and then you get interest from opposite sex, right? They text you, they throw their hooks, right? You notice that, and you begin to understand there is a shift that happened in your energy that attracted those pendulums, right? Whether negative or positive. And you don't take it personally. You don't take it personally. Like if a like it's a good thing, right? If you're single and you get like interests, that's a good thing. You begin to ask yourself, why is that happening? Am I is my lifeline moving on a different direction? Am I radiating a higher energy? Like, am I radiating love and confidence? What you begin to notice those things, right? And you begin to see, that's not the people. That's their energy. They sensed my energy, and it's kind of the pendulum, right? Most people are asleep, so that's why you don't blame people, right? So for example, if you were thinking about bad stuff recently, you had your negative thoughts. And so sometimes what I was really like what I was aware of, what happened was one person would call me and ask me to help them. So I said no. Then another person all of a sudden called me, "Hey, I need some help." And you'd be like, "Why is the same request keeps on coming, right?" It's not the people. You don't talk to the people and say like, "Hey guys, what the fuck is happening?" No, this is a pendulum, right? So you radiated negative energy, your lifeline, like you somehow attracted that. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just move through this space and on your way to your lifeline, you encounter some pendulums and they try to hook onto you. And if you don't react, you will pass by them and you just go. You see, that's the thing, guys. It's the pendulum sometimes. It's not the people. Like if something happens, you think, okay, pendulums try to hook. It means either that I'm moving towards my that I'm moving efficiently and effectively through this alternative space, or that you had intrusive thoughts that you reacted and you could not get out of your head, that you attracted those pendulums. It can mean many things, guys. But to be honest with you, you just don't have to don't blame some people just be like, hey, he is a son of a bitch, he is a piece of it's not the person. It's not the person. Yeah, 20% of the time it could be the person. And also if you react to their provocations. But if you don't, they will leave you alone. And so, um, guys, I hope I I hope I could explain how to think about it, how to perceive it, how to navigate through it. This is module number 1. I want to thank you so much for being here, guys, and I will see you on the next module.